Most people over 65 think they understand sleep. They believe if they get into bed earlier, stay there longer, and avoid obvious stress, their heart and body will take care of themselves. But here's the uncomfortable question most doctors don't ask directly. What if the very things you do at night, the habits you've trusted for decades, are quietly putting strain on your heart and stealing years from your life? The mystery isn't whether sleep matters, it's why so many seniors who do everything right still wake up tired, foggy, and at higher risk for heart problems. And the answer isn't where you think it is. If you're watching this and you're over 65, you've probably been told the same advice over and over. Go to bed earlier, stay in bed longer, rest more. Yet American sleep surveys show something strange. Adults over 65 spend more time in bed than any other age group, but they report the lowest sleep satisfaction and the highest rates of nighttime waking. That contradiction is the first clue that something important is missing. Let's rewind, because none of this starts at 65. The origins of dangerous bedtime habits usually begin much earlier, often in early adulthood. In your 20s and 30s, sleep is flexible. You can stay up late, eat heavy dinners, scroll screens in bed, and still function the next day. Your heart rate recovers quickly, your nervous system adapts. Large studies like the Framingham Heart Study followed Americans for decades and showed that younger bodies absorb sleep stress with fewer immediate consequences. That false sense of safety your habits form. Back then, late-night eating felt harmless. Falling asleep with the TV on felt comforting. Using alcohol to unwind felt like a solution, not a problem. These habits didn't hurt right away, so they stuck. And because nothing obvious broke, the brain labeled them as safe. In your 40s, subtle changes begin. This is where cause and effect quietly shift. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that sleep architecture starts changing around midlife. Deep sleep decreases, nighttime awakenings increase. The heart becomes more sensitive to stress hormones like cortisol. But here's the twist. Most people respond by doubling down on the same bedtime behaviors that used to work. They stay in bed longer, they snack later, they rely more on screens to distract from restlessness. This is also when many Americans develop mild high blood pressure or prediabetes, often without symptoms. CDC data shows that by age 45 to 54, nearly half of adults have hypertension or are on the edge of it. Poor sleep doesn't cause this overnight, but it accelerates it, especially when bedtime habits push the nervous system into a state of alertness instead of recovery. Now we reach the shift after 70 that most people ignore. This is where those habits turn from annoying to dangerous. After 70, the heart and brain rely more heavily on consistent circadian signals. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine has shown that older adults are more vulnerable to irregular sleep timing, late-night light exposure, and nighttime blood sugar spikes. Yet many seniors unknowingly sabotage these systems every night. Take habit number 1. Staying in bed too long. It sounds healthy, but after 65, excessive time in bed fragments sleep. Studies from Stanford Sleep Medicine show that spending more than 9 hours in bed increases nighttime awakenings and raises resting heart rate. The heart never fully settles. Habit number 2 is late-night eating. Even small snacks raise insulin and heart rate. Research published in Circulation found that eating within 2 hours of bedtime increased nighttime blood pressure and reduced overnight heart recovery in adults over 60. The body stays in work mode when it should be repairing. Habit number 3 is falling asleep with the TV or phone. Light exposure suppresses melatonin, but the bigger issue is brain arousal. EEG studies show that background noise and flickering light increase micro-awakenings, even if you don't remember them. Your heart does. Habit number 4 is using alcohol as a sleep aid. It knocks you out, but it disrupts REM sleep and increases nighttime heart rate variability. A large NIH study found that older adults who drink alcohol in the evening had higher rates of atrial fibrillation and nighttime arrhythmias. Habit number 5 is irregular bedtime. Going to bed when you feel tired sounds intuitive, but after 70, the circadian clock needs consistency. Variability of more than 90 minutes was linked to higher cardiovascular risk in a 2023 American Heart Association analysis. Habit number 6 is lying awake worrying in bed. This trains the brain to associate bed with stress. Over time, cortisol rises at night instead of falling. That pattern shows up clearly in seniors with insomnia and heart disease. The breaking point comes when these habits collide. Poor sleep raises blood pressure. High blood pressure disrupts sleep. The cycle tightens. Seniors start waking at 3 a.m. with a racing heart. They feel exhausted but wired. This is often when medications increase, doctor visits multiply, and fear creeps in. The fallout is real. Health suffers first, then money, through prescriptions and treatments, then lifestyle, as energy shrinks and independence feels fragile. Medicare data shows that sleep-related issues are linked to higher hospitalization rates for heart events in adults over 70. What's painful is that many seniors try failed fixes because of old advice. They go to bed earlier and earlier, making sleep worse. They nap longer during the day, stealing nighttime sleep pressure. They ask for stronger sleep meds, which increase fall and heart rhythm risks. None of these fix the root problem. So, what actually works? Here's where the missing truth finally shows up. First action: shrink your sleep window. Aim for a consistent bedtime and wake time that gives you 7 to 8 hours in bed, not more. This strengthens sleep drive and stabilizes heart rhythms. Second action: set a hard food cutoff at least 3 hours before bed. Even protein snacks count. This lowers nighttime blood pressure and improves heart recovery. Third action: create a light-free, quiet wind-down ritual that starts an hour before bed. No news, no scrolling. Train your nervous system that night equals safety. One clear warning: do not ignore persistent nighttime heart palpitations or early morning anxiety. These are not just sleep issues. They are often early cardiovascular signals and deserve medical attention. And here's the open thought I want to leave you with. What if the key to living longer after 65 isn't more sleep, but better signals to your heart about when it's safe to rest? If this made you think differently about your nights, hit like so more people see this. Share it with someone over 60 who still thinks bedtime habits don't matter. Drop a comment about which habits surprised you most. And if you want the next chapter, where we talk about the one morning behavior that can undo a bad night of sleep, subscribe so you don't miss it.